Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today we are covering chapter 4. Okay, so this is chapter 4. Okay, chapter 4 is regarding the market failure caused by externalities and asymmetric information. Alright, externalities meaning that the third party. Okay, the third party. Either this third party gains a cost or benefits, incur cost or incur benefit to them, so it's considered as the externalities. When we talk about market failure, okay, market failure is about the market that cannot meet the equilibrium. Okay, the equilibrium cannot meet the efficient. Okay, cannot meet the efficient quantity and also price to produce. Alright, so it incurs the market failure. Okay, asymmetric information is considering the inside information. Okay, insider. Okay, insider information from insider. For example, you want to buy a stock market, a stock in the stock market, you have gained the inside information. So that is called as asymmetric information. Alright, basically this chapter will cover on the efficiency functioning market. We'll cover as well on the externalities and also efficiency loss. We'll take a look on losses and also the gain. How much is gain, how much is loss. Alright, then we covering as well on the society optimal amounts of externality reduction and also asymmetric information. Alright, so like I mentioned earlier, where we talk about the market failure. Okay, market failure is about market fail to produce the right amounts of the product. Okay, either they produce more product because they will produce more product, or they produce less product. Alright, okay, they have the wrong informations on producing a product, so that is why it's called as the market failure. Alright, so efficient outcome require how to make it this market failure to be more efficient. Market demand curve must reflect full willingness to pay at every person in the market. Remember, I said that when we say that market demand is always correlated with the customers. So, okay, we need to know how much the price of a product that willing to pay by customers in order to correct this market failure. And also second is supply. Remember, when I mention supply, you should remember, okay, so supply is related to producer, meaning that how the minimum price that can be set by this producer in order to produce a product. Okay, when we mention producer, remember marginal cost. When we mention customer, remember marginal benefits. Customers always relate to benefit, producer always relate to the cost. And total surplus is about consumer surplus and also plus by producer surplus. So consumer surplus plus by producer surplus, call it as the total surplus. Alright, what does it mean actually? What does it mean by consumer surplus? Alright, the consumer surplus is actually the difference between what consumer is willing to pay for a good and what customer actually pay. Okay, actually pay is actually the market equilibrium price. Okay, equal to the equilibrium price. Okay, for example here, the equilibrium is at $5. Alright, it's at $5. Okay, consumers willing to pay for that good is, for example, at $12. Okay, I'm willing to pay for that product for $12, but the actual price of the product is only $5. So here, consumer surplus is 12 minus 5 equal to 7. Okay, so this $7 is considered as the consumer surplus. Okay, I am willing to pay that product for 12, but the market price for the product only 5. So I in a psychology way, I made profit. Okay, I made profit at 7. Alright. So now when we know that the consumer surplus, there must be as well the producer surplus. What does it mean by producer surplus? Alright, remember, producer is the cost, marginal cost, involved with the cost. Okay, when we mention producer, we need to remember supply. Okay, supply. When supply, do you think that they will produce supply at a higher price? Of course not, right? Producer always think that for the lowest price. Okay, so that's why the definition here is differences between the actual price of producer received and the minimum price they would accept. Meaning that, what does it mean? Okay, for example, to produce a bicycle, the market price of producer a bicycle is at 12. Okay, is at $12. Okay, this is the equilibrium cost. That produce a bicycle. But this producer can produce a bicycle at a lower cost than that. For example, at 8. Alright, at minimum cost, for example, here 8. I can produce a bicycle at $8. Alright, so considering this, this producer will make a surplus by $12 equilibrium price, the actual price, minus the willingness to pay for the minimum cost is 8. So indirectly, this producer made profit at 4. So the producer surplus at $4. Okay, so remember, you remember here, consumer, the demand. Okay, consumer involve demand. What the demand? Marginal benefit. How this benefit customers. Okay, and you have to remember, when we mention producer, we relate it with the cost and we relate it to the supply. Okay, producer, supply. When they supply, they consider what? They consider the cost. How much cost that they need to pay for a product to be produced, and how much the actual cost that been the actual cost for the market, actual cost of the product. Alright, so that is how they make it consumer surplus and also producer surplus. Okay, now let's see this table. Alright, let's see this table. Maximum price willing to pay is 13. Okay, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. And actual price meaning that this equilibrium price. Okay, this equilibrium price that is $8. Okay, $8 is the equilibrium. Okay, so here I willing to pay for this product. Bob's, okay, see, Bob is willing to pay for this product at 13 ringgit. Here, okay, 13 ringgit here. So consumer surplus here is 13 minus 8. 13 minus 8. The market price is just only 8, but I am willing to pay at 13. So consumer surplus as $5. Okay, the rest is the same. So here, upper level from this price of equilibrium, this green line, this green shade called as consumer surplus. Alright, consumer surplus. Where, okay, remember, consumer surplus, the demand line. Okay, when we mention about the producer surplus, we relate it with the supply line here. Alright, supply line here. Okay, here, Chandra willing to accept the price at 3, but okay, at 3 here, at 3. Okay, remember, producer always want the lowest price cost. Okay, the lowest cost. Okay, the actual price is at $8. So he can produce at $3 to get this quantity. Okay, to get this quantity. So how much the producer surplus? 8 minus 3 is $5. Okay, so this blue shaded area considered as the producer surplus. Okay, producer surplus. The equilibrium is here. Okay, is here. Alright, but this agenda can produce at 3. Okay, lower cost. Okay, alright. So that is considered as the producer surplus and also consumer surplus. Alright. So from this thing, consumer surplus plus with the producer surplus, what does it mean? It's equal to market welfare. Okay, market welfare or market efficiency, because market equilibrium maximize the combines of surplus both consumers and also producer, making it the most efficient situation. So meaning that when consumer surplus meet producer surplus here, it can produce the efficient market. Alright, can produce here the efficient market. Alright, remember here, supply equal to marginal cost equal to minimum acceptable price. So this is from the producer side. Okay, so demand is marginal benefit equal to maximum willingness to pay. Okay, so this is represent for the customer. So this customer, this producer, remember? Okay, and what are the factors that influence this? Okay, the factors that influence the surplus, either producer surplus or consumer surplus, you need to remember 3 factors. First is the price changes. Second is the government policies. And the third is demand and supply. So these 3 factors influence either consumer surplus or producer surplus. Okay, let's see. Price surplus, if price decrease, okay, price decrease, consumer surplus increase. Alright, but producer surplus may decrease because of the price. The price decrease, producer surplus may be decreased. Alright, because the price is decreased. Okay, the price increase. When the price increase, who benefit more? Producer benefit more. When price decrease, who benefit more? Consumer benefit, because price decrease, murah, okay, cheap. So consumer will buy more. Okay, if the price increase, who benefit more? Producer. Okay, so producer will supply more. Alright, and then government policies, tax or subsidies can alter market price level and impact the surplus. Alright, if happens like this, government always introduce tax or subsidies to control the market. Alright, the third factors is the demand and supply. For example, technology advancement in consumer preference affect the shapes and demand curve, thereby influence the surplus. Alright, okay, for example, we do have AI now. Alright, okay, now efficiency losses from under production. So here, efficiency loss. What does it mean by efficiency loss? Is the deadweight losses. Okay, here. Alright, instead of producing at this equilibrium at Q1, but the supply is under production. Okay, the producer is under production is at Q2. Okay, just produce this one. So this efficiency loss. Okay, efficiency loss from under production. The demand is high, but we can only produce this quantity. Alright, so we consider is under production. Okay, what happens to overproductions? We need only this value Q1, but we produce at Q3. So this is called as the overproduction. Okay, now we take a look on the externalities. When we mention about externalities, we need to know the externalities is actually the cost or benefit that affect the third party. Who is the top party? Who is the third party? The third party is not a person who involved in the production and also consumer. They are not involved. They're not involved as a producer, or they're not involved in the consumers. Alright. Who is this? Who are they? Okay, who are they? They are the community. Alright, the society. Okay, the human outside from the process of consumers and also producers. Okay, in terms of externalities, when we mention externalities, we need to consider two. First, negative externalities, and second is positive externalities. Okay, negative externalities will incur costs. Okay, impose costs. Will impose costs to the third party. Okay, for the third party. For example, air pollution. Okay, traffic congestion. So this will have a negative externalities to the society. Alright, because it imposes costs. Air pollution, we need to clear the pollution, so we incur costs. And traffic congestion, alright, how to manage the traffic, it also imposes a cost. And remember, when I mention cost, you have to remember the supply side market failure. Okay, cost, supply side. Okay, positive externalities. Now we take a look on the positive externalities. Alright, this positive externalities is actually economic activity benefit. Okay, benefit third party. Okay, benefit third party. For example, education. Okay, education. People, when they have education, they will work and they will contribute to the GDPs of the economy. Okay, vaccination. For example, those who are having vaccines, they are less exposure toward the disease. Alright, so it's contribute to the towards the public health. Okay, and public park. Okay, if we well manage the public park, okay, it will increase the value of the housing around the public park. Okay, so that is contributes to the benefit of the third party. So the third party benefit, when I mention benefit, relate back with the demand side market failure. Alright, so this is negative externalities and this is positive externalities. Alright, so this is negative, this is positive. Remember, when I mention negative cost. Okay, sorry, negative cost, incur cost. Positive, incur benefit. Okay, when incur cost, remember supply. Okay, supply. So the supply curve will move from ST2 to S. Alright, so this is considered as negative externalities. Alright, so benefit is the demand. Okay, the demand will move to the left. Alright, DT will move to D. So this is the positive externalities. Alright, okay, now we'll move here. Alright, so now how to correct, how to make it these externalities back to normal. Okay, we can correct the negative externalities by introduce tax and also direct control. Okay, and also correct the positive externalities by introduce the subsidies. Okay, for example, just now I said that negative externalities. For example, we have here at negative externalities incur cost, right? For example, air pollution. So those who are making contributing towards the air pollution need to impose the tax for their company. Alright, you need to impose tax so that this company will decrease making more air pollution, will decrease making air pollution. Right, so the tax here will correct the air pollution for the negative externalities. When we mention positive externalities, it's benefits, right? When it's benefit, we subsidize it. Okay, we subsidize it to encourage it to be happen in the environment. Alright, so that's correct. Okay, see here, subsidies and also government provisions, but the most important thing here adalah is subsidies. When subsidy introduced, it will close the gaps of the positive externalities. Alright, so here negative externalities, correcting them. Just now we mentioned ST move to the S. How to make it S move to the ST here? Okay, move to the ST by imposing tax. Okay, imposing tax here. So this will move to the left. Alright, move to the left. Alright, and correcting for positive externalities by introducing the subsidy. Okay, the subsidy from the demand will change to the right. Okay, will change to the right. Okay, so it correcting the underallocations of resources via subsidy to producer. Alright, so remember here, this is also very important point to remember. The problem we have here is negative externalities and also positive externalities. How to correct it? By having this and this. Alright, remember positive subsidies, negative tax. Why tax? When we impose that, the negative can be a positive. Why? Because when we impose that to a company that make air pollution, they will stop making air pollution. Alright? Okay. And then this marginal cost, marginal benefits and optimal abatement. Alright? So this cross is called the optimal amounts of pollution abatement. Alright? And what is government role when externalities are present? Okay, when externalities present in the environments, so government need to solve externality problem by correcting externalities by introducing the tax and also introducing the subsidies. Alright, and also optimal reductions of need to cater as well for the optimal reductions of externalities. Alright, and now we take a look on the asymmetric information. What does it mean by asymmetric information? Okay, asymmetric information occur when one party transaction possesses private information. Like I said just now, that you have information from the stockbroker, meaning that for one stock that will rise up. Okay, you have that information. So that is a private information. It's not readily available for other party. So other people do not know about that information. Only you know the information. So that is called as the asymmetric information. And this cause the scarce resources be located inefficiently. Alright, and typically require government intervention to correct. For example, when seller possess private information for gasoline market for licensing agent. Alright, and also when buyer possess private information, it will cause the moral hazard problem and also adverse selection problem. Alright, moral hazard problem and also adverse selection problem. Alright, okay, so that's all for today. So I hope that everyone understand what I'm teaching now, what I'm sharing now. If you don't understand, we will discuss further in next week class. Assalamualaikum.